Today in the Woodyard, it's a delivery day. We're gonna make a big dump. Here we go. It could not be a more spectacular day than it is today. It's about 58 degrees. The sun is out. Birds are singing. Be here. Awesome day today. So I've got a delivery this morning and I got the trailer, I just hooked it up. We're gonna fill it up with one face cord of mixed hardwood and one face cord of pine, which is gonna equal 2/3 of a cord. For those of you that are confused, a face cord is the same as 1/3 of a cord. I'm saying this again because there's people all the time on the channel that just have a hard time comprehending this. In different areas of the country, people have different names for 1/3 of a cord. Certain parts of the country, they cut your tongue off if you say face cord or rick or rank or row or truckload, because the powers that be, the government, want to make it so that it's simple. And I get that. But you got to realize people are going to do what people are going to do. For instance, where I live here, we have this little thing called a bubbler. You've probably never heard of. It's a Wisconsin thing. You guys probably call it a water fountain that you drink out of. We call them bubblers. That's just what we call them. It's a weird thing, I know, but that's the way it is. Down south, everything's a Coke. What kind of Coke do you want? Because the brand made such an impact with Coke that that's what they call all soda, soft drinks. Soda pop. We call it pop here. What kind of pop do you want? Do you want a Coke or a Pepsi? Do you want a Mountain Dew? Or do you want Dad's root beer? Do you want a A&W root beer? Do you want a Dr. Pepper? We kind of go by brand. It's just the way it is. There's also a company here in town. It's called Kimberly-Clark. They invented this little thing called Kleenex. Technically, it's facial tissue. That's what it's supposed to be called. But pretty much everybody calls it a Kleenex. They have that kind of brand recognition. And the reason I'm bringing this up today is that there's a person that made a comment in today's video that was out, which for you guys was 2 weeks ago. And it was talking about brands, why you're brand loyal. Well, there was a guy on the channel that made a comment. He made what I would call a small-minded, immature comment. So I deleted it. And I do that from time to time. When people are being turds, as you know, turds stink, I flush them. It's that simple. And maybe he meant it innocently, but it didn't come across that way. So I just deleted the comment. So in that video, I was talking about brand loyalty and why people are brand loyal. And I basically tried to explain the psychology behind why people buy what they buy, or the convenience of why they buy what they buy, why they like certain brands. I went through about 14 different things, and there were some other people that made some very good comments as to why they buy the brands they buy. A lot of it has to do with availability or service that they're getting. Those are some of the good ones. Or another one is a big one, is dependability. Past good experiences that they've had with a product. Great reasons. Now, this comment was made, I'm going to try to do this in the right way so that it comes across, so that it kind of covers everything. He said, I'm guessing it was a he, I don't know, there was no name, said, blank brand is for men and blank brand is for little girls. That's just immature and not necessary. Basically, this was a person that was small-minded and they said something that was offensive to other people, whoever used that brand, to refer to the other people as little girls. What's wrong with little girls? Can't they have their own brand? Can they use whatever they want? Your brand is a manly brand, is that what you're saying? And what people like that, what they're doing is they're trying to cut you down for the choices you made and try to build themselves up by criticizing your choices or things that you do. That's a very immature person. Don't be that person. That's basically a turd, and I flushed them. Okay, we're gonna load some wood. So I just backed up the trailer here to the totes that are filled with pine. There's white pine in here, and this is going to a customer that buys 2 loads every year. They get 2 face cords in the spring, they get 2 face cords in the fall, or 2/3 of a cord, if that's what you like to say. And the reason they get pine is because this is for outside burning in a fire pit. And they burn in their fire pit during the summer, and then they burn in their house in the fall. Now in the summer, This guy likes to have wood, he said, that has flame to it. That's what he told me. So I like some wood with some flame. I said, well, pine is going to work good for that because it burns faster and it has more flame to it, whereas a wood like oak or locust is not going to have as much flame. I mean, it has flame, but it just doesn't burn as fast. It's a slower burning, hot burning wood. So in this time of year, the spring, I told him, I said, what I'd recommend is maybe do a mix. And there's a lot of people that actually do a mix in their house when they're using it for in the fireplace and for heating, because the pine is a faster burning wood. You get heat faster. Yes, it doesn't last as long, doesn't put out as much BTUs, but for a lot of people, it doesn't matter. In this case, he wants flame. And he said he also likes the smell of the smoke from the pine. So we're going to put in 1/3 of a cord, or a face cord, or a ricka-rinka roll, into the trailer of pine, out of the totes, and then right next to it I have the mixed hardwood over here. We're going to throw in a face cord or 1/3 cord of that. Now, I don't have the baby dumper today because my son is using it once again. He seems to like the baby dumper. And for those of you that are new to the channel, I have a trailer just like this, but a smaller version. This one I can hold 4 face cords or 4 1/3 of a cord thrown in loose. But the little trailer can hold 2 face cords or 2/3 of a cord, which is smaller, easier to maneuver. I can get it into garages real easy. It's narrower. I really like it. But my son is doing a landscaping job right now in his house and he's borrowing it from me. So I'm going to use the big trailer today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it right to this board. If I go right to here where the board starts, all the way around, I put it level, it's 2 face cords or 2/3 of a cord. If I go to in between the boards right here, it's a full cord thrown in loose. If I go to the top, it's 4 face cords or 1 full cord and 1/3. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, I have put in thousands of loads of wood into my trucks and my trailers over the years. And I have done it from measured full cords, measured face cords or 1/3 of a cord. So I just know by looking how much I need to put in there. And if I think I've got enough, I throw a little extra in. Again, over delivering is the thing to do because people like that. People always like extra bonus fries in the bottom of the bag. I'm just saying. Okay, we're going to chuck some wood. So in this bin is mixed hardwood. There's oak, ash, maple, elm, soft maple, kind of all that kind of stuff. And this is the last little bit of wood that I have from last year that was left over. Now, this whole bin, which is, I don't know, long, was full of mixed hardwood. I sold all of it except for this right here. Down there, I'll show you guys, we added wood just this winter and spring. Down there, we got a bunch of oak, and then there's some ash down on the end. And then the really big bin that's over here, I don't know if you guys can see that, a little piece of it over there, that big bin, that was full too, and then we refilled it, and that all sold. So, as far as the mixed hardwood, I sold probably, this is just a guess, probably right around 40, 45 full cords of mixed hardwood. Now, 100% of that wood was free. It was all tree service wood, wood that we cut down that we got for free, whether it was on a property where somebody wanted to get rid of tree, wood that we cut down from trees in the back of the property there, stuff like that. So 40 full cords, and I sell it for 120 a face cord, so it's $360 for a full cord. So 360 times, just say 40 to make it easy, 360 times 40, free, just saying. For those of you that don't know how to make money doing firewood, there's a lot of free wood out there. I did a video not long ago about talking about how to get free wood just by looking on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and what to look for. Once you get known for wanting, needing, and being willing to take wood, people will call you. It's really that simple. So 100% profit, well, not 100% profit. I get my time into it, gas, equipment, all that kind of stuff. But you don't need to buy a truckload to get started. Although I have found by doing research, running the numbers, I actually make more money, more dollars per hour buying truckloads because it's so much faster, so much more efficient, so much easier to just buy truckloads of wood. And last year I bought 11, 12, I forget how many, a bunch. Okay, I'm gonna quit blabbering. We're gonna chuck some wood in right now. bunch of wood in the trailer. How'd that happen? It just kind of flew in there. So, one other thing I want to mention is guys are telling me all the time, oh, you should do this, you should do that. I call them the you shoulders. A lot of people tell me, oh, you should use the grapple, you know, to load this wood. You should use the bucket, you should scoop it up. Well, the more I listen to you guys about what I should do, the fatter I get. This is good exercise. I like it. I'm sweating now. It feels good. When I used to not have a tractor years ago at the old Woodyard, I did a lot of stuff manually. And since I bought my tractor a couple of years ago, I got fat. I gained like 15 pounds. I feel terrible. I need to do more manual labor. And that's the problem with having good equipment. Is you tend to depend on it and you tend to get lazier. And the whole reason I started doing firewood years ago, to sell it, like 10 years ago, I've always done it, I always enjoyed it, but I wanted to do more of it, so I started selling it, is to get exercise. And the bigger I get as far as production, the processor, the tractor, the splitter, the trailers, everything that we've added to the production, it's made me fat. And I don't feel good about that. So doing some manual labor is good for you once in a while. Generally, the most dangerous piece of equipment in anybody's home is a chair. The more you sit in it, the worse shape you get, the more hazard it is to you. Get out of your chairs, go do some work. We're gonna go do a dump. So I pulled away from the pile just now, you saw that, and I thought of something I forgot to show you earlier. My dump trailer got used yesterday by Bert and Adam. They did a tree job, and they told me that when they were dumping, they did, I think, 2 dumps with it. They said that the battery was getting worn down and it wasn't dumping very fast. So because I haven't charged this in quite a while, and I've been doing a lot of short jobs just around here in the Woodyard with it. And when I have it plugged into the truck, it's constantly charging. It's very slow. I think it's like a 0.5 amp or 1 amp, something like that. So whenever I'm trailering back and forth and it's plugged in, it is charging all the time. However, I haven't had it plugged in because we've been using it quite a few dumps without plugging it at all. So the battery got wore down. So because they told me that, what I did was when I got here this morning, I quick went and I grabbed this little Agrotech charger here. So this little bitty guy can get put right inside of here. And the only extension cord I had was this big long one. So I just stuffed it in here and I plugged it in right here on the side. I'll show you this up close so you guys can see. So this is how you charge it. There's a built-in charger right here. And you just plug your cord in and plug it into, you know, a regular outlet. But I was way back over there loading wood, and obviously I wasn't going to be able to plug it in up at the barn. It's a long ways away. So I just grabbed this because I have this in my truck all the time because I use this for charging my camera stuff, my batteries, all the stuff I use. So I just plugged it in here, and it's been charging, and it looks like, yep, it's still green. So it's working. Now, what's really cool about this N&N trailer is obviously it's got the built-in charger. That's how it comes. You just plug it in and you're good to go. And it's got this little exit spot right here for a cord so that you can put a charger right inside of here, and it just closes down like that. So I'm charging right now, and I have been the whole time. But now that I'm going to be driving, I won't need to have this on here, so I'm going to unplug it, and then we're going to go do our delivery. And then after that, when I get done with the delivery, I have a tree job to do. Now, this is for one of my neighbors, and he knows I have a channel, and he said, so when you come cut my tree down, he said, do you have to make a video of it? I said, no. He said, I really don't want to be on YouTube because he's going to be helping me. I said, okay, no problem. So it's a neighbor just a couple houses away. I'm going to be cutting down some arborvitaes, like cedar trees. They're probably pretty good size on the corners of his house. And he's got a dead ash tree, just a small one. I don't think it's more than 8-10 inches at the most. So I'm going to be cutting that up, and I'm going to be hauling it and dumping it. And he said I can have all the wood. I'm just doing it as a favor because he helps me out once in a while. So that's what I'm going to be doing. That's why I've got the saws in here. So we're going to be doing some cutting today. But I'm not going to show all of it to him. You're only going to see a little bit because he doesn't want to be on camera. He's shy. So let's go do a dump. It is now 6 hours later. I did the dump, you saw that, but for me it's 6 hours later. And I went to my neighbors, my buddies, and we cut up ash tree. This is the butt right here, and then a couple cedar trees, 3 or 4 of them. And I blocked up the stuff that was big enough to put in here, and I filled up the trailer. We had a trailer full, but it's empty now of branches and brush and stuff. I went and dumped that at the city. So now all I got to do is put all my saws away. I used all 3 saws. I used the little bitty 540 up on the, when I climbed up the tree and cut some limbs off, and I cut some stuff actually from the roof because it was hanging over the house. I cut some branches off. Again, like I said before, he didn't want it shown, and that's okay. It was kind of nice, refreshing for me and a change to just be able to work and not have to worry about the dang camera movements all the time. So I used the 562, I used the 572. We cut the stumps off really low, you can see here, and we cut right down into the ground almost. So I used a piece of junk chain that was on the 572, and I had to sharpen it like probably 5 times. I would cut one cut, because I had to cut a bunch of stumps off as low as I could get. I cut the roots, cutting right into the dirt. Nasty. But we got them below the level of the grade, and he's going to do landscaping over the top of them and just cover them up. So all I'm going to do now is go put my gear away, and then we're going to chuck off the round. So we're going to do that right now. All right, so I just backed up to the pile here. This is all the odd stuff we've been cutting. There's box elder, there's elm, soft maple, a bunch of ash, just a bunch of stuff. And this here is mostly going to be a lot of ash, but there's also some cedar, it was actually a arborvitae, kind of a, looks like a cedar, smells like a cedar. It's a cedar, but it's just a straight up growing kind of thing. It was probably, I don't know, almost a good 20 inches around on some of the chunks here. And he kept some of them for firewood, and the rest of it I just threw in the truck here. And so I probably took a little more than half of what we cut, because he wanted some for himself, but he didn't want a lot of it. So like this was some of the butts that we cut off. Like this is half of it there. So this stuff, a lot of it will go into boiler wood, but I'll throw it all here in this pile because it's all going to get split up. Some of it will be wood that we can sell, and some of it will just be put into totes. But I'll just throw it off. Like here was the bottom of the ash tree that we cut up. So you can see how big that was. Real bushy one, had lots of branches, and it was about 90% dead. And he had asked me last year if I wanted it, if I would cut it down for him. I said sure. So didn't charge him anything, but he borrows me stuff once in a while, so it's okay. Help the guy out. Beautiful day though. Right now it's probably 65 degrees. Never really got hot today. Slight breeze. You should be here today. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. But right now, you're probably busy sitting on your throne. Probably have some paperwork to do soon, so I'll let you go. I'm gonna finish unloading this, and I'll see you tomorrow, 5:30 a.m. with another video just for you. And it'll be a fun one, I'm quite sure. Got all kinds of ideas for some new ones we're gonna be doing here. Otherwise, if you got nothing better to do while you're sitting there doing your paperwork, go watch some more videos. There's 1,400 on my channel. Good night, Irene.